Good evening, welcome back. Getting a little bit of a late start tonight. Mostly because I was kind of apprehensive about even doing a stream tonight. Part of it has to do with the fact that my daughter's been sick for the last couple of days, so I don't know if she's going to stay asleep long enough to really do this. The other thing was kind of a couple of things that I saw on the Asmongold strip or stream clips on YouTube earlier today. One of them's not really all that important. The other one kind of, it was a little bit disturbing. I'm sure most of you who've paid attention to Twitch or on Twitter know what's going on already, but I don't get on Twitter, so I avoid Twitter like the plague. But anyway, I think it's probably one of the stupidest things ever. From my understanding of the story, no, this is just my understanding of it, I could be wrong, but my understanding of the story is basically, over the last few months, Twitch has been getting a lot of, what's the word, DMCAed takedown notices on a lot of their people's old clips and stuff, and decided that they were just getting so many notices that they were going to just suspend doing anything about it for a while and implement some systems. And then they decided, without warning anybody that they were going to do this, go back through several years worth of content. I'm not sure how far back, but they went back years and just deleted like people's old stream clips with like copyrighted music and this, that, and the other. Like just straight up deleted like channels and, well, not channels, but clips, just clips without warning, and sent the creators an email saying, "Oh yeah, we did this without asking because they didn't even really give a reason, but we did this, but this is just a one-time warning, so don't do it again, but here's your chance to learn about copyright law so you can avoid doing it in the future." And it's like, are you serious? You just literally deleted without warning or giving people a chance to respond to the takedown claims. As is the law, people are allowed to respond to claims or DMCA takedown claims. They're allowed to respond to false notices or say that they're false or whatever, and get their content back. That's what the law says. And then if there's still an issue, then the original claimant can sue the person that they say took the copyright, and that's that. Like, Twitch just axed it. Like, no, we don't care. We're just going to get rid of all of this so we don't have to deal with it, and then you can figure it out later. It's probably it is giving me a literal headache just to think about how dumb this whole thing is. Like, the backlash that Twitch is going to get is probably going to be insane. Because, let's be for real here, a lot of the people who stream and have clips on Twitch probably don't even know why 90% of the clips that they have got flagged in the first place or even deleted in the first place. Like, they're not gonna know. They wouldn't have cared in the first place, so you just deleted a whole bunch of clips that people didn't even realize were, if they did realize they were claimed, didn't know why. Because, as an example, some of the clips that or videos that I've uploaded to YouTube since I really started getting into it over the last few months, 2-hour videos, and then content ID gets flagged for 2 minutes of the video and like an hour and 37 minutes into the video. Like, how am I supposed to know? Like, I'm just playing through the game. Like, I'm under the impression that because I bought the game, I've got the active subscription to the game, that because I'm playing the game, in my opinion, that's fair use. Like, if people are watching the videos later, and that's fair use. Like, it's not like you're watching the cutscenes and like of me just going through the cutscenes. Like, if I've seen channels of people just like, oh, well, we're just gonna upload all these cutscenes. Like, I don't necessarily agree with that, but if like their channel wasn't monetized, I wouldn't really care. But like, that's not what I'm doing. Like, I'm playing through the game, talking about the game as I'm going, talking about what's going on, yada yada yada. That's different. That's fair use in my opinion. I could be wrong. A judge could just, in the future, could be like, no, that's not fair use. But I really doubt it. But you know, it is what it is in that regard. Now, reaction channels that are just purely reaction channels, like, oh, I'm gonna put up this video and put myself down in the corner and just sit there and laugh along to the video. And didn't I already register for this? I could have swore I did. But sit there and they're in this tiny little box in the corner, just playing the whole video on the whole screen and just laughing along to the video, not really talking about the video. Like, that's not fair use. That's totally copyright stealing right there. But if you're like, you're playing the video, play for a few minutes, and you pause, you talk about what's going on in the video and what you liked and didn't like and the quality of the video, making commentary on it, that's a whole different thing. That's arguably fair use in my opinion. But just deleting videos and clips because someone sent a DMCA takedown notice and so many were sent you just couldn't be bothered to deal with it, that's messed up. I don't agree with that policy at all whatsoever. And a lot of the problem, I think, stems to the fact that the DMCA, the Digital Millennial Copyright Act or whatever it is, was written in 1998. The thing is more than 20 years old. And in 1998, there was no YouTube. Streaming was not a thing. Like, the internet existed, but it was in a very, very early form. Like, a lot of the things that we have today, like streaming and YouTube and video sharing, and a lot of this stuff didn't exist back then. It was mostly just message boards, and I don't even think they really did online shopping back then. I think it was mostly just message boards and websites, or maybe ad websites, like not sites you like Amazon where you can go buy things, but just like, well, come check out our website. You can see what we have to offer, and then you come to our store and buy it. Like, that's what I think that basically was. Like, that's one thing. But today, like, the copyright laws we have then do not work for today. You have a 22-year old law that was written in a pre-internet era that just not going to work for today. I hate this. Now I remember why I don't like this fight. This guy's like stupid hard to. I don't remember. Can I bring these guys into the middle somehow? There we go. Bring them into the middle, and then this AoE thing will blow them up. Okay. But yeah, the law needs to be updated. Plain and simple. Like, if you're playing a game a game that you bought and paid for, like, I've had content claims when I've uploaded stream or moved videos about while playing Fear, the music in there. Like, if you're streaming a video of a game that you own and have owned for just own, like, you bought and paid for it, you legally own the game, and you're uploading the video of you playing it, not you just the cutscenes in the video, but you actually playing through the game and reacting to the game and talking about the game as you're playing it. That should be totally acceptable, and all the music in there should be part of that. It should be legally allowed to be videoed, recorded, and posted as part of that video. Like, people should not be able to go, oh, well, here's the... We don't agree that even though you own the game, that you can record this music and put it up there with the video because it's part of the game, and we own the copyright to that music. Like, no, that's bullshit. Like, I bought the game came with those licenses. Like, you didn't just, like, that music just didn't magically appear in there. The developers of the game licensed those songs to put those in the game, so those should be, if streaming the game is fair use, then those streaming the games with the music is fair use. But God knows that all these corporations, all these music corporations, which are the big problem, like the video game industry doesn't really care for the most part. Like if they're I don't know if, like, you maybe could argue that streaming and or recording video game footage and whatnot while you playing and talking over it could maybe possibly be argued it's not fair use. Maybe. I'd have to look into it deeper to figure that out, but maybe you could make that argument. But the video game industry doesn't care. Like, basically it's like, okay, well, we're getting free exposure, and sure, there may be games where times when some players are like, oh, well, I don't need to buy this game now because I already watched somebody else play it, so I already know everything that happens. So, I mean, sure, sometimes they might lose out on a few sales because someone watched somebody play it on the stream or a video, and so they don't have to play it anymore. But that's not, from my understanding of the studies and whatnot, of like, they've done studies of where people have pirated video games, and like, a lot of the reasons that people have pirated video games is not because they just wanted to play the game for free, but they wanted to know if it was worth buying. And, you know, like, something like 25 or 30% of the people who pirated games would then turn around and go and buy those games, like, because, like, okay, well, this game is worth buying, so I'm gonna go buy it. Like, so this kind of negates that piracy needed, because now you've got someone else who's already bought the game, who owns the license to play the game, streaming it. Now people can go watch that stream and be like, okay, well, I like what I see in the game. The person that's playing it is obviously having fun with it, or not having fun with it, depending on the game, and make a determination that way. So, I think that's why the video game industry makes that, or doesn't care about the fact that, for the most part, people stream their games and record them playing their games, because then they get exposure, and the people who would have otherwise pirated the game might not necessarily pirate it, but instead turn around and just watch a stream with somebody and then buy it later. So, God, how long have I been rambling on? Like 10 minutes on just the stupidity of copyright laws and Twitch? The whole situation just gives me a headache. I'm gonna die. Yep, I'm gonna die. Oh, I gotta heal. fantastic. God, this place is so overtuned sometimes, I think, right? Sure, I mean, I know everybody can get access to this cure spell, but seriously, like, the cure spell ain't gonna do crap against some of the mobs in here. Like, sure, the starred mobs are, like, supposed to be super tough, but the beasts or biasts or however you want to pronounce that, like, in this middle section here, I've been two-shot by those. Like, there's no amount of cure spell that's going to save me from being two-shot. Like, that's just not a thing that's going to happen. Oh, God. I just realized what the next critical engagement is, and it's the red Chocktober, the red Chocobo. And that's a death trap waiting to happen. But the other thing that I wanted to talk about that I saw in Asmongold's YouTube stream clips was about WoW. WoW has decided to do, or Blizzard has decided to do the single most infuriating thing possible with WoW. They are now selling Transmog sets on the WoW store, on the Blizzard store, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, let that sink in. They're selling Transmog outfits, complete outfits. Like the first one they have up there is an 8-piece set. They're selling it on the Blizzard store. It's free with like a 6-month sub, or you can buy it for $20. Which is going to lead to, inevitably, in my opinion, the worst possible thing that they could have done. In the future, I can see that it going down this route is that they're no longer, our team's no longer going to put that much effort, not that they really put that much effort into most of their gear in WoW, but they're going to put less effort into their obtainable in-game gear in favor of the gear that you can buy on the store. Because a lot of people who play WoW and play Blizzard games are fanboys and just enable them to do so. Anything Blizzard does for a lot of people is just it's golden, it's godlike, and it's stupid. But anyway, you're gonna get a lot of crappy outfits that you can obtain in the game, and if you want the good-looking outfits, you're going to have to buy them on the store, which is already basically the case. The set that they've released is a Fey Dragon looking set, and it looks kind of goofy, but you can, just looking at it, it's like leagues and bounds above the quality of the rest of the gear in WoW. It's pretty evident if you actually look at the set, because the set is like fully 3D. Like, there's a lot of 3D elements coming off of it. Like, you could almost, like, if you were to make it more realistic looking, like, you could almost fit it into a gear set that isn't Final Fantasy. Like, it's completely 3D. It's not just painted on textures. Like, it's like you've got little frills hanging off the chest piece, and the wings are fully 3D, and like the belt even sticks out a little bit, and there's frills on the sleeves. Like, they put a lot of effort into it. It looks nice, but it's like, why didn't you put that into the game? A lot of people would have loved to have that in the game, but that wouldn't make too much sense. Because why put something in the game for free like that when and put effort into making something in the game for free when you can charge people more money for it. Which is unfortunate because they're already charging people so much money to play Blizz or World of Warcraft. Like, you already have to buy the expansion. Then you have to pay a monthly subscription fee. Sure, you can pay it every 6 months, but it's a monthly subscription fee. The amount that you get, or you save like $2 a month paying it 6 months at a time versus the 15 that you would get from, or 10 every month. You don't save a lot of money, but you do save some, sure. So they don't really need the microtransactions. It's not necessary. And I have to kind of agree with what Asmongold was saying about it. Like, it kind of sends the message that Blizzard doesn't think that their game is enough to stand on its own. Like they don't think the content stands on it, and the looks and the appearances and the mounts and everything stand on their own. That they have to add extra things that you can buy on the store, and it's like, maybe if you guys focused on the content and made better content, you wouldn't need or feel that the game doesn't stand on its own. Like, the game, they didn't have microtransactions when WoW first started. Even when microtransactions were first starting to become commonplace, it still wasn't a thing. Like, it took them a long while to get into microtransactions. And it wasn't necessary. Even, it wasn't until Warlords of Draenor that WoW even was really struggling all that hard to begin with, and it wasn't the lack of microtransactions that what made WoW bad. It was just the fact that WoW was a terrible expansion. Like, they tried so hard to make the garrison the core feature of everything in the game, and it's like, there was no point to it. Like, everything was tied around the garrison, so they were like, well, yeah, but this was supposed to be like a player housing thing, so if we do player housing, players will never leave their house. Like, no, that's not why people were always in their garrison. They were always in their garrison because everything they had to do was tied to their garrison. So what was the point of ever leaving? You didn't never have to leave it, except unless you were going to go do a specific quest or do the dailies or whatever. Like, 99% of everything in WoD could be done from the garrison. There was no point to leave. If they add player housing in WoW, it's gonna be like Final Fantasy, or if they did a system something like Final Fantasy, or the system that I've heard that New World is doing, that the new MMO that Amazon's making, like their housing system. Like, players aren't going to be just stuck in their house and never leave. Like, they'll get out, they'll go do things. Like, the house is not the focal point in Final Fantasy or New World or a lot of these other systems that, or games that have housing systems. Like, they add to the game, they're not the focal point of the game. Like, I love the fact that I have a house in Final Fantasy. I've spent probably a good 10 million decorating it. And I've left it basically since I finished decorating it, but I spent like a good 10 million decorating it. And that's that. Like, I do a lot of things from my house because I can, but that's not necessarily the same thing. Like, a lot of players go, or you can go on servers and find a lot of people in Ul'dah and Limsa Luminsa. Like, I run around my Discord ward the ward is basically empty. Like, I'm 99% of the time, I'm the only person in my ward, unless they're in their house. I don't really go searching for people in their houses. I don't really see the point to that. It's kind of creepy, stalkerish. But, you know, for the most part, my ward is empty. It's perfectly fine. Like, if I want to go hang out with people, I can go to the Quicksand, or I can go to Whimsa somewhere. I can find people to hang out with. I just like hanging out at my house because I don't really have to leave to go anywhere to do anything. Like, there's like at least 72 people in this Bozjan Southern Front right now. So it was like, if you design the housing to be an additional system to the game, not the focal point of the game, people aren't going to spend all day every day in their house. Not unless they can, and they want to. Humans are social creatures. They're going to go out if they want to and hang out with other people. I mean, you could make the housing districts in WoW like inside the capital cities, and then like they're still in their capital city. Like okay, well, sure, you're in your house, but to go to the auction house, you got to get out of your house and you got to go fly down the road to the auction house. Okay, well, I'm gonna get out of my house and go fly down the road to the auction house. The only reason I don't have to do that in Final Fantasy because I have the retainer bell in my house, and he's like, okay, well, hey, yo, come put this stuff on the market board for me, because it's just simple to do that way, or be that way, and I kind of like it that way. Although I do kind of, it is annoying, in my opinion, that you can't put things on the market board directly yourself. If you have to put things on your retainer. Like, I would prefer to be able to have stuff on the market board for my retainers and myself, like, and it would still give people the whole thing of anonymity. Like, you could be like, okay, well, here's my retainer's name, and here's both my retainer's names, and here's the name that all the stuff that is listed on the market board under my character directly is named. Like, you could pick it, allow people to pick a pseudonym to have stuff on the market board if you're concerned about anonymity. Like, you could do that. It wouldn't be a big deal. No, don't hurt me. But the biggest thing that annoys me about the market board is something that's not unique to Final Fantasy. The people posting things on the market board there's so many stupid people that post things on the market board. Like, you are actively hurting yourself by posting things on the market board at this price. Do people not understand that when you open the market board and you drop something on there to put it on the market board, that the number that it comes up initially is, or it defaults to, is not the recommended price? It is the vendor price. Like, it's literally telling you that you can get this much money right now, this very second, by selling this to a vendor instead of putting it on the market board. And people put it on the market board for that price or lower. It's like, you're actively wasting money. Like, you can go get that much money from a vendor right now, but if you sell it on the market board for this price, you are not going to get that much money. You are going to get that much money minus 5% for tax, or 3% if you're in a restrict or reduced tax zone or city. But yeah, like selling a material on the market board for 159 gold is, I think, the rank 7 vendor price. Like, people do that all the time. It's like, come on. You could, if all you're trying to do is sell your material quickly, which, fine, sure, I can understand that. Go to a vendor. You'll get 159 gold right there then, no questions asked. No wait, no muss, no fuss. Just done. I've seen people put material on the market board for less than the vendor price. Like, there was one time I saw someone put like 40 materia on the market board for a third of the vendor price. It was like, ooh, that's free money right there. I bought all that up, sold it to a vendor, made like 2,000 gil just buying up materia that was way too cheaply put on the market board for less than vendor price. Like, boom, done. 2,000 gil. Of course, those are the worst people. Like, there are other people that are annoying when it comes to the market board too. Like, people that just drop down the price, like something on the market board for 500,000 gold or gil, when you go to put it on the market board, you drop it down, the price down by like 1 gil or 10 gil or 100 gil. You come back the next day and someone's dropped the price down by like 10,000. It's like, why? Why did you feel the need to drop the price down by 10,000? It didn't need to be dropped by 10,000. You could have dropped the price under me by another 1 or 10 or 100 gil. And it was perfectly fine. I would have re-undercut you again. But now I have to drop down my price by 10,000 because you couldn't be bothered to type in a few extra numbers or move your fingers off the 0. Or people that just like ultra crash the market. Like, there's a 350,000 item and you come back the next day and someone has listed theirs for 200k. Like, why? Why would you go from 350k to 200k? Just why? Like, are you so desperate to sell it that quickly that you would actively cost yourself, not only you, but everyone else trying to sell items in that market, a truck of money? To be completely fair, though, it's not like money is really worth that much in Final Fantasy as it is. Once you, I mean, sure, once you have a large house, which is kind of hard to get, but, or even a house in general, there's really not a whole lot to spend money on in this game. Not unless you want to, or unless you're constantly buying new glamours and or raiding and buying consumables. There's not a whole lot to do or spend money on. Like, that's basically it. Like, unless you're housing, glamour, and raiding are the only real money sinks in this game. Outside of that, well, I suppose there's also crafting, but like, out of those side of those 4 things, there's not really anything to spend money on in this game. At least nothing that's super expensive. I mean, 90% of the time, the money I'm making is just basically from doing the daily roulettes. I don't even, like, I could more actively make money, but there's no need to. The amount of money I make passively through roulettes covers my repair bills and all of the teleportations for the day. Like, I have really no need for any additional gil beyond that. Oops, my bad. But I am slowly but surely saving up for a large house that I hopefully will get a large house in Ishgard when Ishgard housing opens up, as long as they do open up. And for those who are like, oh, well, they've never really officially confirmed it, like, they've been winking and nodding about Ishgard housing for, like, ever. And damn, this thing's already dead. Oh, I guess it's... Well, that was unfortunate. Let's do that one. But yeah, they've been winking and nodding about housing in Ishgard for pretty much forever now. And, well, not forever, but they've been winking and nodding about it for a long time. And while I appreciate the thought, and I'm really hoping I get a large house in Ishgard when it opens up, but it's not going to fix the housing problem. You add Ishgard, you could add Ishgard at double the number of houses in every ward, or number of wards in every district, and there still would not be enough houses in this game to go around. Like the number of people that want houses and the number of houses available are nowhere near comparable numbers. What are we at now? Something like 24 wards per district? I think it's 24. And that's 60 houses per district. Let's see, what is that? 60 times 24. 4. Area the 2 on 1,440 houses per district times 4 is 4,600. 5,760 houses currently per server. That's all there is per server right now. It's 5,760 houses. It's not enough. You could double that, and it still would not be enough. More than 10,000 houses per server would not be enough. You add in an additional 1,440, brings that up to like more than 6,000. So more than 12,000 houses per district would not, or per server would not be enough. I'm not sure on the exact numbers, but I think there's like 20,000, maximum of 20,000 people per server allowed online at a time, or something. Like it's a pretty high number considering the low number of servers that they have. So like, if you're allowing 20,000 online at a time, like, you're just not going to have enough. Like, 12,000 is not enough. Like, that doesn't even fit max server capacity. And a lot of these servers are already at max server capacity or higher. Like, Mateus is considered a congested realm, which is the server I play on, and it's full. Like, every time I log on, no matter what time of day, I always have a login queue. It's not a very long login queue usually. It's 10, 20 people at most. But there's a login queue. So yeah, 12,000 houses per server is not going to be enough to fill the requirement for housing. Like, and if this game continues to grow in popularity, you could quadruple it, and it probably would still not be enough overall for most servers. But anyway, the princess is awake, so I need to pause real quick and take care of her. And I'm back. Sorry about that. Princess needed to be taken care of. So, what do we got here? Murder, death, kill. Well, that sounds amusing. But yeah, what was I talking about? Something about housing. Yeah. You could make it. Well, maybe. Yeah, no. If the population of the game continues to increase like it's been increasing, you could quadruple the number of houses to like 40,000, and it would overall not be enough, because eventually it would just be over capacity. The only way that you're going to solve this problem is if, for whatever reason, the game becomes unpopular and people start to leave it in droves, which is entirely possible. If you look at WoW, WoW peaked at about Wrath of the Lich King, and it's had its ups and downs since then, but it's been it declined. It's not hit its peak as far as we know since Wrath of the Lich King. So it's entirely possible that after Shadowbringers ends, that Final Fantasy XIV just becomes unpopular and like just loses a lot of people. The only other real solution to that is you've got to change how the housing system works. Like, you've got to figure out how to make it like instanced housing or something. And I'm not sure how you would go about doing that and keep it relatively the way that it works now. Like, you'd have to completely overhaul the housing system to get it to a point where it's not going to blow up on itself after 5 minutes. I mean, sure, from what I understand, you could do something like what New World is doing, as far as I'm aware. Like, it's not instanced housing, but the way it kind of works is like, it's kind of like they're the housing plots, and there's only so many housing plots, but anyone can buy a housing plot, even that if it's already owned. But there's like a monthly competition or a weekly competition to show, or like the best house is like shown, or the one with the most style points or whatever is shown, or something like that. And like, your house on that plot is always visible to you, but to everyone else, it's the like most popular or the best house or the one with most style points. And you could change the word system to work like that, but I'm not sure how many people would actually like a system like that in Final Fantasy. Like, a lot of people have already spent a lot of time developing and decorating their own particular house and their own yard to make it look like how they want it, and going to a system where, because they weren't popular enough or they didn't had enough decorations to be the one featured that week, it probably annoy a lot of people. Like I understand that it would be annoying, but that's one thing that you could do to get it to work. Another thing would be like, from an role player standpoint, it's like, okay, well, my house is supposed to be a shop. How am I supposed to run a shop and people walk by and see this shop if this random person's house is sitting on top of it because they just happen to be featured that week. Like that. Like there's tons of problems with going with New World's design. It could work, but like I said, problems, points, and yada yada yada. So in all honesty, I'm not sure how you would go about fixing the Final Fantasy housing. Now, the only, like, there's maybe another solution that could possibly work, although I'm not sure how it would necessarily work. These, like, dynamic housing wards, like, whenever a ward gets full, like, maybe, like, not necessarily 100% full, but like 80% full or 90% full, the next housing ward opens. So you're like, okay, well, I can't get a house that I want here because, like, all the small houses are bought or all the large houses are bought. So if I wait a little while, eventually maybe this next ward will open and I'll be able to get a house there. But then it's like, okay, well, what happens when the ward loses popularity? Like, okay, well, or the game, or people move out of that ward into a different place and the ward is basically empty. Like, okay, well, the only solution to that is I can think is like, okay, well, if the ward gets above 50% full and then eventually drops down to like 25% full, then any wards below that ward, like if you're at 15, like any ward 14 to 1, if that plot is open and you're still in ward 15, it gives you the option to move your house to that plot in a lower ward. So that way you're filling up space in lower wards rather than just sitting there in a ward that's empty and you're all by yourself. And then eventually people would either start buying houses in that ward again, or that ward would eventually be closed. Like if it got down to 0% and ward 15 had like 0% capacity and ward 14 fell down to like 80% capacity, ward 15 would just go away because there'd be no more need for it. Like I could see a system like that working in the short term. That's maybe it'd be a pain in the ass to code, I can tell you that, but it could work if you could get the code to work. But I think that's the only system that would really work for Final Fantasy at this point in time. Like, people aren't going to want their houses to be like, oh, well, you're not the most popular house this week or the one with the most style points this week, so people just can't see your house this week unless they're in your group or whatever. I don't think people would go for that. place is so boring. Like, I've heard people say that it's better than what Eureka was, or it's exactly what Eureka was, but it's like, this is a glorified Fate simulator. Like, I run from one Fate to the next, to the next, to the next. Like, maybe there's a point to killing the mobs that aren't part of the Fates, but I'm not sure what that is. And then the story quests are kind of predictable and kind of annoying. Like, spoilers for anyone watching this video that hasn't made past rank 8 yet. Basically, Misaja is a spy. Surprise! Like, who didn't see that one coming? That there was a spy in the Resistance. But anyway, she goes out with you to set up one of these Aether Current Finder things, or to recharge the Crystal Focus, or whatever it is. And then Mikoto, she points a gun at Mikoto after she steals the Crystal Focus, and it's like if you stand down and let me escape, she'll be kept alive. And it's like, bro, and you're forced to do it because, you know, plot, but it's like, come on, like, I am the warrior of light here. Like, learn to lie. The simple solution to that, to walk out with everybody alive, is be like, okay, well, if you shoot her, I kill you, and then I grieve for 10 minutes, and I go get one of my friends to help me finish this, my scholar friends to help me finish what we were doing anyway. So, like, there's no situation in this right here where you walk away the winner. Like, it's not going to happen. But no, of course they can't do that, because heaven forbid the warrior of light actually lie to save somebody's life. Like, seriously, if the warrior of light was ever allowed to lie or not be a complete bumbling idiot sometimes, 90% of the situations that they get themselves into would not be a problem. I'm serious, like, if you could just have told Misaja when you were doing that quest, like, no, go ahead, shoot her, I'll just kill you, and then go get my friends to help me finish doing this anyway, and you'll be dead, and I win, like, but no, that would be too easy. The wrong one. And then apparently to get your relic weapon upgraded, you have to get like 60 of those fate things, or crystal things that you get from farming fates. It's like, oh, it's so annoying. And apparently the drop rate in here is not 100%, but if you go out to specific, well, I've heard, but I've not done it myself yet, but if you go out to specific fates or areas to do fates in the open world and you get gold, they're guaranteed drops, which I don't necessarily mind, but I kind of gave up doing the Yokai Watch one fates for a while. I'll probably go back and finish the ones I haven't finished yet before the end of 5.35. But I think 90% of everyone is like was playing like Blue Mage when the Yokai event first started, and so it was basically impossible to get fates done or get like silver, because you at least you needed at least silver for the Yokai event to get the legendary medals. But like you would have blue mages and like they would all just spam Dragon's Voice or Ram's Voice or whatever, and everything would be dead within like 2 seconds, and the fate would be over, and you would get no credit for it because unless you were a blue mage spamming Dragon Voice, you couldn't hit anything. I mean, to be fair, I've got Blue Mage at level 80, or level 60. Yeah, level 60 right now. I've still got to go back and finish a lot of the spell for it, but I've got it at level 60. I also need to go and finish the level 60 Mass Carnival quest, or trials. But that's a thing in itself. Could make an interesting stream for one night doing the Mass Carnival. I do wish though that the level 50 quest, or the level 50 Blue Mage set was dyeable. That's a nice looking set. I just would like it to be able to be something other than silk. Oh, that one. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna touch that one. The last time I touched that one, it ended up being like 4 people on one of these and 7 in the other, and just basically impossible. This one is like meant for the physical people or classes, and this one's meant for like the magic classes, but as you can see, people aren't really interested in doing them because it's basically just fighting a ton of mobs. Banner of Noble Ends. Crystallized memory of an esoteric technique. It doesn't even tell me what it is, though. Oh, well, look at it later. Solemn Clarity, Honed Acuity, Tireless Conviction, Acuity, Noble Ends, Acuity, Sacrifice, Noble Ends, Sacrifice, Clarity, Sacrifice, Conviction. Lost to Rise, Cure 4, Okay, well, let's look at these for a moment. Okay. Banner. Oh no, well, let's start with the offensive ones. Banner of Noble End. Store in the field under banner, increasing damage dealt by 50% while reducing own HP recovery via most healing actions by 100%. No thank you. Increasing damage dealt by 50% while draining your HP. I mean, if you're a tank, maybe that's not a bad thing. Honed Acuity. Additional stacks each time an attack is evaded up to a maximum of 3. 10% damage taken by 10%. At maximum stance, take up the banner of Transcendent Finesse, increases critical hit rate by 30%, and reduces weapon skill cast time and by 20%. No thank you. Tireless Conviction. Damage taken. Each stack gaining additional stacks each time damage is taken up to a maximum of 5. Increases damage taken by 15% per stack. These are crazy freaking banner things. Okay, what is this? Periodically gaining additional stacks up to 4. Effect ends upon using another action or moving, including facing a different direction. Cancels auto attack. At maximum stacks, they Limitless Grace increases healing potency by 50% while reducing MP cost. I mean, if there was... It's not bad, but there's only 25 casts available. Oh. Well, that's lame. It's a free rate or res, but it's got only usable by the tanks and healers. What is Paralyze and Banish? Is that it? All the new things? Yeah, that's all the new things. Okay, well. Okay, well... okay. I think that's enough for right now. I am Mechanical Man. I'm probably gonna die, but this will be amusing for a moment. Of course, it's weak against magic, so yeah, this will probably take a while if I do manage to kill it. What a dick. Oh, what a dick move. That's what he did. That's why I turned a random direction the last time. Forces you to walk a particular direction. Like an asshole. Oh, you dick. Move. Right. And then there's that annoying thing, like, you can't use spells or things unless you put them onto your action or duty bar. Like, that's stupid. Well, that wasn't too bad other than being randomly forced to march forward. Or march in random directions. Oh. How did the three of us not get priority placement for this critical engagement when I'm pretty sure we're the ones that made it happen by beating the guy? Okay, well. Looking at it, I believe the resistant rank goes up to rank 15. There's only 3 people. This is not going to end well. Not if only 3 people or 1 person shows up. This will be the shortest fight in history if no one else shows up. Like, I have to wonder, did everyone else get kicked out of the zone or what? Like, where'd everybody go? Or is this one just so hard that no one wants to do it? If I'm the only person that shows up for one of these, am I allowed to opt out of it without actually fighting? Because I'm pretty sure it doesn't let new people into it after like 10 seconds prior to the fight starting. And I really don't want to... I don't want to be stuck in this for 20 minutes. Oh, screw it. We die like a man. Boot camp mode. No, stay away from me. Okay then, so don't stand behind him and don't stand in front of him. Good to know for next time. Useless, 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 useless. Red Daisy Corsage. Probably useless. Wind on the Plains. Quick Arm. I have to wonder if this is the Southern Front, and there's probably going to be like 2 more sections of this zone. Is one going to be the Eastern Front and one going to be the Western Front? all I can think that it would be maybe the northern front or the western front. I don't know. Okay. Gotta get 6,000 more metal to get to rank 10. In about an hour and 40 minutes to do it in. I think that's doable. A lot of the fates in the Alarmuk climb area give a fairly decent amount of metal for completing them. Huh. Well, that gives me a reason to kill the... Oh, no, I didn't want all of you. No, I didn't want all of you. Yeah, no, that's... I didn't ask for all of you. That's just not fair. And of course, you spawn in the time it takes me to kill one. Not that you're hard to kill, but it's not the point. Of course. Just before it dies, it's gotta run away. And then it comes back at full health, because of course it will. Because why would it be fair if it didn't? I'm probably gonna die. But, oh well, why not? the very least, I don't think I'm going to kill it with a time up. Or maybe I will. There's somebody actually alive still in this zone, so. I would think a 2-ton missile would do a lot more, or wider damage than what it's doing. I mean, I could be wrong, I'm no explosives expert, but you'd think a 2-ton missile would do a wider area of damage. Okay, cool, we killed it. Don't think I've done this one yet either. Yeah, no, I would remember killing that guy. Oh no, nope, not gonna touch that one. Would love to, but I'm not a tank. I'm not about to get one-shot by that thing. Yeah, judging by the completion rate of this fate down here, I would have to say most of the people in this zone got kicked out or left. Which makes me think, like, well, why aren't there new players being funneled into it, or did I just get all the basically brand new players to it that can't actually get into this area, or just don't know what they're doing? Although if you're this high enough a level to, or high enough level to get into this zone, you would think you would at least know what a fate was and how to access it and how to do it. Okay, well, we're getting close. That one's almost done, but that one hasn't been touched. The good news is, though, we only need, like, out of the 60 that were required, 54 more. Stupid bird. You know, maybe I wouldn't mind this zone now that I think about it, or this whole thing, if the zone were slightly smaller. Like, it takes so long to get from one fate to another, even using the Aetherites. Like, if the zone was smaller, maybe it wouldn't be such a big deal, but it takes so much time and effort to get to one fate and then to get to the next one. Prime Elephant. So that's apparently what elephants in this game are called. Elephants. Okay, well, waste the rainbow. See, like, how long have I been riding? Like, at least a minute now? And I'm only, like, halfway there. Like, you shrink this zone down by, like, 20%. It becomes a lot less annoying just to get from one thing to the next. Of course, then the grind for freaking get metal, like, it's not that bad at the start, but then it gets really annoying. Wait, is this ho-oh? No, it's not orange. But it is a rainbow. It is rainbow colored. Call what is it? Rare? No, I don't think it's rare. It's Game Freak. Game Freak is the one that makes Pokemon games. Someone can call Game Freak and tell Square stole ho-oh from them. Wait, why are you attacking me now? I didn't. No. Leave me alone. I didn't hit you. It was the other people. Ow. Like, why is she that powerful? Like, what the hell? Like, see what I was talking about earlier with, like, the Bozjan Beasts? Like, some of these guys just hit so freaking hard, like, for no reason. Like, if you're not a tank, a lot of these guys are just, even just the basic mobs are hit way too hard for you to even have a chance of surviving. It's like, why? Why do they hit that hard? Oh, look, a naked tank. That is a cat girl, and I'm not sure why I'm even pretending to be surprised. We hadn't lost 15, oh, more than almost 1,600 metal. It would be so much closer. Some of these take a really long time without anybody else to help. I know there's one in the beginning, or at the first stage, or section of this zone that has one that's basically nothing but casters, which are weak against physical attacks, so if I was doing something like that, I could just blow through it, because, like, even as a bard, they just take so much damage from physical attacks. It's pretty astonishing. Because most mobs in this zone are either indifferent or take extra damage from magic attacks and not physical attacks. A lot of these take a while to do. Like, far longer than they should by yourself. I mean, I understand they're meant to be group content, but sometimes you get the unlucky privilege of not having group for some reason. Like, I know when I first got into the area, there was plenty of people around to help. Not so much anymore. I mean, I only need 1,000. Yeah, I'm not gonna do no camping allowed because I believe that one's right next to the Bozjan Bias, and if you're not careful, I'm just gonna get myself killed again. Not worth the hassle there. Oh. As soon as I leave, something else spawns right there. I'll beat that one, and then I'll have enough for the next resistance rank. This doesn't look pleasant. Take these things one at a time. See how it goes. Yeah, it definitely looks like one of the times you're gonna be ready to go. That's not what I wanted. Definitely not what I wanted. What? Nope, don't bring more over here. Would be slightly faster if battle voice actually affected the bard that used it. Unfortunately, battle voice only affects the party of the bard that used it, which kind of doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're going to psych up your party, wouldn't you psych up yourself at the same time? Or at least have some kind of effect on your own mental state at the time if you're psyching up the rest of your party? I think this should be the last required kill. Yay, and that gives us enough metal to go get rank 10. Okay. I will say I do like the fact that since Shadowbringer started, they have given the players, or the Warrior of Light, so to speak, more of a voice, more options to actually be able to speak and add to the conversation, have different reactions from the other characters, I guess. It's a lot more refreshing than A Realm Reborn and all the other stuff, where it's just basically like, well, here's what we're doing, and then here's what we're doing, and here's what we're doing, and you're just kind of like nodding along, like, yeah, sure, why not, whatever, let's go. Huh. Well, I doubt I'm going to find enough players here. Although it does seem to be slightly busier. I mean, that's great. I have 20 reses that I can't use unless I change class. Wait. I didn't even notice this before. Oh, cool. You can have multiple sets. I really don't feel like going through and messing with a bunch of sets at the moment. Okay, well. Yeah, I don't really feel like spending another hour in here. So, let's see, what time is it? It's 20 after 11. How long have we been going? 2 hours? Yeah. Is there anything else I want to do today? Not really specifically today. Yeah, I think I'm done for tonight. Between the headache that I've been getting for a while, and the fact that I haven't gotten much sleep the last couple of nights because the 4-year-old, the princess, has been just not feeling well and been up and down, not sleeping well herself, making sure everyone else can't sleep very well, so I'm a little bit on the tired side, so I think I'm going to call it short tonight, and then go lay down and see if I can't get some sleep while she's asleep. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you're on YouTube watching this later, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you later.